Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to FabLab Makandura. I'm with a special guest today and on a special occasion. Professor Siegfried Zuern is here with me. He's from Esslingen University, Germany. We had 10 days or 2 weeks activity, visit with a lot of activities in different places. But finally, as a final stop, Professor Zuern is in Makandura FabLab. So I want to introduce Professor Zuern as our special guest today. Welcome to Makandura and welcome to FabLab Makandura. Professor Zuern, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, so Siegfried Zuern, I'm Professor of Operational Management in Germany in the University of Esslingen, and also I'm the director of the International Center and Graduate School there, so responsible for all the internationalization activities. But the main focus of this visit was, of course, to get in touch with Sri Lankan people also being interested in Industry 4.0 or digital transformation.
Okay, so I want to ask you, like, what are the activities you have done, and what has been your connection to Sri Lanka for the last few years, and what are your plans for the future?
Okay, so all started with a visit of Chaminda and MBA students of the University of Colombo in 2018 or 19, when they visited Esslingen and also some industries around. And we then come in touch and found that it is interesting, especially for Sri Lanka, also to see what digital transformation could bring to the country, also to smaller companies. And that was the starting point. Then together with Chaminda, we organized or applied for a project with the DRD, so a German exchange academic society. And unfortunately, we have to shift that visit that was planned for early 2020, 2 years due to the pandemic, but in the end we could make it now. And the idea was really to come here to see also some of the universities that are in that field, and seeing also what you do here and where we could further collaborate, and think to have done input maybe from Germany also to Sri Lanka, but also having my students understanding a little bit more about the needs in developing countries.
Okay, so you have been here more than 10 days now.
10 days.
Yeah. So what are your impressions about the country, people, and future possible partners or collaborators?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh. First of all, I have to say thanks. So everybody was quite nice, was really easygoing for me. Also, when Chaminda was not around, so to be clear. But on the other side, okay, the island is. I like it very much. Honestly, I have to say I'm more a mountaineer guy than a beach guy, but you have both, so that's also what is interesting. And we had the discussion that maybe for German students it could also be interesting, because Sri Lanka is not such huge that they feel not completely abandoned going somewhere. So that was what is the impression about Sri Lanka. Another thing, okay, all these happy dogs around. So, yeah, and it's a very diverse country, I think. Checking Colombo with the huge buildings, skyscrapers, and scenery. Then if you go to Paradenia and seeing a little bit the countryside and also the different cultures and mixture, so I was really impressed by that. And also by the, let's say, spirit of the people in the universities to be quite open, even with low resources, to go into a kind of digitalization era and trying to create things.
Okay, so what are your plans or possibilities or ideas about possible collaboration with whom and where you have been, whom you met?
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I hope that our collaboration will continue, though that was the step in. And I'm quite interested in also having a kind of industry and teaching to a lot of industrial people or young people that want to be in the industry. So that is of course one, but we are already going for our next proposal. And then, yeah, we had talks with people in the University of Colombo, from the Vice Chancellor to the Dean of the Management Faculty. So there I could imagine to have some kind of projects on a managerial basis, going more into the, let's say, engineering. I think Ruhuna and also Paradenya, where we spent yesterday some time for meetings and checking what we can do. Though this, I think, is something that is very close to what we do. Interesting was also that there could be a collaboration on, let's say, the system thinking and how you do project and problem-based learning with the Faculty of Agriculture. So we do not have an agricultural faculty, but the way of how you teach people, and also concerning the situation with sustainable agriculture and modeling, where another focus beside Industry 4.0 is in my team's work, could also be something I didn't expect at the beginning, but I'm quite open for some activities there and trying to share information of both sides.
Okay, so no, I will not discuss about the main ideas you are kind of promoting or introducing here, because we had a session or interview in 2019 when I met in Germany. But very briefly for our new maybe audience, what are the explanation or main concepts behind Industry 4 digital transformation and system thinking? Very briefly.
Okay. Yeah. So Industry 4.0, of course, is covering a big range of activities. For me, it is connectivity, and collaboration with digital opportunities, also collaboration in the future with artificial intelligence, but mainly also collaboration with other guys, maybe from other companies even, but for that you need all these digital connectivity. So that is part of that, besides smart factories, where you connect machineries and do preventive maintenance and things like that. And that is, in my opinion, something really interesting also for SMEs, because there you could do and you could start up things without having to invest too much into assets. So this could be a game changer also for, let's say, smaller companies and also for well-educated people here in Sri Lanka. So if you talk about system thinking, that's for me a kind of idea to simulate activities and also simulate how you can perform when doing things in a set environment. And everything is a kind of system. If you create a company, you have a system. You have the environment, you have stakeholders, you have the government, you have your employees, you have your revenues you have to think about, and your customer and all this. And you could not just pick one part, so you have to think that holistically. And to do this, there are some possibilities to model this. That's called system thinking. And we even had a master student performing a system thinking model for how to get along with Industry 4.0, a digital transformation ideas for FabLab here. So just recently stopped, and that is also where I see.
And there's an interesting way to look at, because the master student is studying for a German MBA, but she's originally from IIT India, South India, also studying about SME in Sri Lanka.
Exactly.
Okay, so finally, my final question is now, based on your current assessment or current knowledge, how ready or how willing Sri Lanka for digital transformation, and how relevant such projects or initiatives for us as a developing small island?
Okay, I couldn't say for Sri Lanka. I just could say what I've seen at the moment. As I said, and that applies to everybody, I would say, on the globe, you have possibilities. Think about that 3D printing activities you can do locally and doing something for a local market or for local aspects. That's one thing. I'm not thinking that will create a big industry where you are going to sell products around the globe. That's one thing for local adaptation. On the other side, to create some, let's say, business process ideas, that of course today works now on a global basis.
Right.
We all learned in the pandemic just to cooperate with Zoom or Skype or whatever other platform. If it is Sri Lanka or Germany, the only question is the time zones, but that doesn't matter too much. So I see honestly a big potential for highly educated and willing youngsters. If that Sri Lankans are, you could better judge.
Okay. So thank you, Prof. Zuern. I think it's a pleasure to have you here. We are looking forward to see you again in Sri Lanka and at FabLab Makandura and also in many other places. And I wish you all the best for your remaining part of the trip and also return back to Germany. But as I mentioned to you, more important is we collaborate nowadays globally at multi-levels, different organizations, different countries and different generations. So thank you very much again.
Thank you, Chaminda.